New college, new year. It's the last season of Netflix's blockbuster British program Sex Education, and we've moved on from Moordale Academy to Cavendish College. Maeve is now studying English in America, Adam is at home on his couch guzzling cereal, and fan favourites like Ola and Lily are no longer on the show. However, best friends Otis and Eric guide a Moordale crew, including Jackson, Vivian, Amy, Cal, Ruby, and Maeve's ex Isaac, through the intricacies of their new school, which is diametrically opposed to the framework they're used to. Otis and Eric ride their bikes to school, fearful of being outsiders once more. But they quickly realise they have nothing to worry about. Cavendish celebrates its pupils' individuality, and they, well, Erica readily accepted. Aisha, Abby, and Roman, Cavendish's cool kids, are a diverse lot who guide the incoming students through the school's rules. Everyone is encouraged to express themselves. No gossiping, and gender-fluid restrooms, obviously. Maeve is working hard at the library in the United States when she gets a sudden impulse to have sex because, evidently, everyone around her is horny as hell. She sends Otis a photo of her breast, but it is clear that he is still struggling to communicate and feel better about himself. He forgets to send her one of himself, and since it's time for him to start at his new school, he leaves. Before he can go, we witness Jean completely disoriented as a result of unexpectedly becoming a mother. Everything is in disarray, and Joy, the infant, has eaten up all of her attention. She has a job interview for a new sex radio program, but having Joy makes it much more difficult. Meanwhile, Cal has immersed himself in their LGBT transformation. They record a voice diary in which they report that consuming testosterone has increased their sex desire and made them stronger. Ami, on the other hand, is on her way to recovery and is taking her time. She takes note of how masturbating makes her feel and whether or not her trauma has improved. Otis informs Eric about his inability to send a nude to Maeve while riding to the new school, and Eric advises him about sexting etiquette such as not leaving the other person hanging. Their new school, Cavendish College, has a distinct personality. People are becoming more open, gay, and accepting. We also encounter Ruby, who has been left out of her pack after Olivia and Anwar were chosen to attend a separate school. Because everything is student-led, there are multiple sets of rules and regulations, including the innovative notion of normalizing mock tests as a learning experience rather than a competition. Otis pitches his free sex therapy concept, and it is simply permitted to happen due to the school's supportive character. When the lift becomes stuck, Amy and Isaac meet for the first time and discover that they both work in the art department. Mr. Jeff, on the other hand, is working as a substitute teacher at the school, and Eric is being questioned about Adam's whereabouts, which he has no knowledge. Mr. Malloy, Dan Levy, our first major new character, is introduced. He's a well-known professor at Maeve's school, and all of her colleagues swear that whomever gets to be his intern is always published. Maeve makes an impression in his first class by being honest about his profession, but she ruins it up when her phone rings mid-discussion and Malloy throws it out the window. Cal is extremely aroused in art class due to her growing testosterone and all the ingredients in it. Adam is still depressed about the split. He has also decided to leave school, so Maureen advises him to obtain a job and stop postponing or ruminating on his broken relationship. Jean secures a position at the radio station after pitching her concept about the show being an extension of her treatment session. When she is requested to begin immediately, she is taken aback by Joy, but she agrees regardless. We can tell at lunch that Amy, Ruby, and Mr. Jeff are struggling to fit in. The final two even have their lunch in the restrooms rather than the cafeteria. Otis encounters a stumbling hurdle when he realizes that the college already has a sex therapist named O. He believes it's a male, but when O reveals herself to be a girl with a free slot, he enters to discuss their predicament and accuses her of stealing his concept. Instead, he complains about having to cope with a new infant, his overburdened mother, and his possible body image or intimacy difficulties with Maeve. Otis feels exposed and challenged in the face of her fame. As a result, he decided to make a public declaration about it and accuse O of stealing his concept. However, because we know Otis and how unusual he is in public, when he connects his phone, the nude that he had tried to transmit to Maeve is shown in front of everyone. To make matters worse, his nudes featured a flaccid penis rather than an erect one. Otis goes inside his tiny booth, saddened by what has already transpired, but is astonished when Cal steps in to receive a session. She expresses her concern about getting aroused all the time and coming as a result of his nakedness earlier. Otis assures them that having the impulses of an adolescent male is perfectly normal due to the transformation they are undergoing. This helps them feel better and, by extension, makes Otis feel better because he had his first session. Unbeknownst to him, the previous occurrence had left him with a non-judgmental aptitude that would only benefit him. There isn't much going on between Viv and Jackson, except that they are no longer together and have mutually opted to concentrate on their studies. But then there's this new figure named Bo, who has a thing for Viv. When Otis arrives home, Jean informs him that she has obtained the position and will begin soon. When Otis notices that Jean is visibly burdened by being a mother, he and Jean discuss who will take after Joy, and worry spreads throughout the home. So he makes a phone call. Mr. Groff pays Maureen a visit, and she advises him to become more involved in his son's life. He tells her he is trying to do better and is going to treatment. Otis then contacts Maeve and apologizes for the whole nudity photo ghosting ordeal. The two of them then decide to orgasm while talking filthy to each other. It comes effortlessly to both of them, and you can still sense their connection. Maeve tells Otis at the end of episode 1 of Sex Education season 4 that she is going to hang out with Tyrone, one of her 3 buddies. Tyrone, she claims, is the only one she has been hanging out with because her other 2 buddies are busy hooking up with each other. She then says her goodbyes, but Otis hangs up the phone without wishing her well. He then visits her school's website to stalk her and comes across a photo of Tyrone, who appears to be envious and insecure.